Hey team, video 4 on goal setting, how to set some really effective goals and resolutions this year. What I want to cover this video is the importance of reassessing where you're at. Okay, so it's really easy to have that big goal in mind, get set on that, get focused on it, but you also must reflect on where you are, how far you've come, how far you need to go in terms of that timeline that you've set for that goal. So your goal should have a deadline, by the way. Maybe I should have mentioned that. But there should be a completion point at which we know if that goal has been achieved or not. Okay. So I use the example of losing 10 kilos in a year, which by the way is very, very, very doable for a lot of people once you break that down into smaller bits. So for example, if you're aiming to lose 10 kilos in a year, that is obviously about 5 kilos after 6 months, which is roughly 800 or so grams a month, just under 200 grams a week, and about 27 grams a day. Okay, so we've got that big goal at the top. We also need to set the smaller goals along the way. That's going to be different for everybody. If you were going to aim to lose 10 kilos every year, I definitely would suggest that one of those smaller goals along the way to the 10 kg mark is having lost 5 kilos by June or the 6th month. If you haven't, that's okay. That is a really important time for us to reassess where you're at. So that's what this video is about, reassessing. If you have not achieved what it is that you set out to achieve by a point, for example, the 6-month mark, we need to look at your process, what you were doing and what you were not doing, and why you are not quite at that 5 kg point yet. The opposite can also be true. So for example, if you've lost 8 kilos by June and your goal is to lose 10 kilos over the year, that's awesome. Like maybe we could aim a little bit higher. Maybe we could aim to lose closer to 14 or 15 kilos by the 1 year mark. So reassessing is really important. It lets us know whether our process is working, which is obviously important, because if it's not, we need to fix something. Do we need to do more sessions each week? Do we need to see a nutritionist or someone who can guide us with our nutrition? Do we need more, better quality sleep? Do we need to work on our stress levels? Do we need to work on our recovery? Have we not lost weight because we became injured and, has that slowed down our progress? All of these things we need to really look into. And yeah, as I mentioned, if you're sort of overachieving, that's a great problem to have. Then we really need to look at sort of upping the ante. Give yourself a pat on the back, by the way, because if you've lost 8 kilos in 6 months and you only aim to lose 5, fucking fantastic. Give yourself a round of applause. And then look to see, if we continue with this process or if we add a few things to it, if we tweak it a little bit, can we then aim a little bit higher? Because of course we don't want to, we want to live large, we want to live outside your comfort zone. We don't want to be content with just doing average things. We're definitely not here to be average, so don't be afraid to challenge yourself, and if you have gone well and beyond what you intended to achieve, awesome, let's keep it going. Don't then settle for 10 kilos, fucking aim for 14, 15, 16. That would be awesome. Okay, so reassess your goals. I recommend generally every 1 to 4 months. That just really depends on what your short to midterm goals are. Okay, so generally every 1 to 4 months, you want to have a session where you sit down and you look at what those smaller goals were and reassess: are things working? Are things not working? If something's not working, what do we do about it? How can we fix it? If it is working, fucking awesome, keep it going.